how did you come to find the aircraft yourself?
Well, I noticed it around the airport back in the 70s, and ran across pictures of it in my research of Alaska's aviation history.
Now, what will happen to this plane? What are you trying to do, and what will happen to it if we don't succeed?
Well, I'm working with the Alaska Museum of Transportation and Industry in Palmer, and our objective is to acquire this aircraft before it goes outside to another museum. There's the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio has made a strong bid to trade the airplane for some surplus government aircraft, take it to Dayton, Ohio, reconfigure it into a military version, and repaint it in military markings. The Army Air Corps' use of the Pilgrim was pretty obscure, and the Air Force Museum in Dayton is one of the largest museums in the world, and they've gotten just about every airplane that they want, so now they're coming after the lesser known, more rare types.
What do we need to do to keep this aircraft here in Alaska?
We're approaching the public and private enterprise and state government to raise $150,000 to purchase the aircraft so that it can be kept here. We'd like to restore it to Alaskan historical markings and put it on public display at the Transportation Museum in Wasilla.
So basically, can you tell us a little bit more about its historical significance, Alaska and aviation?
The plane first came to Alaska in 1936 under the ownership of Merrill Sassine, and it has been flying almost continuously up here for 50 years. It's flown with a variety of airlines and air services, including Star Airways, Alaska Star, Alaska Air Express, Alaska Airlines. It operated out of Yakutat for a while with Bellingham Canning Company, and most recently with the Ball Brothers. And they've been using it for the last decade to fly fish out of the Bristol Bay area.
That's this company here?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, can you get a quick two-shot, Jim? The plane obviously was it's the kind of aircraft that was just right for Alaska, I suppose, for our terrain or for whatever.
Right. It was a high-wing aircraft. It has very good lifting capacity. It can load up 3,000 pounds, and which is equivalent to a more modern aircraft such as an Otter.
They still make them anymore?
No, they don't make them like this anymore. And this airplane is not only an Alaskan treasure, but it's a national treasure as well, from the aeronautical standpoint, in that it represents aircraft that were being built between the era when airplanes could barely get aloft with any kind of a payload and the modern stress metal skin aircraft that we're familiar with today. You'll notice that this is a fabric-covered airplane. There's very little metal on it except around the cowling area. Another important aspect of this, of its value, is the fact that it's on the National Register of Historic Places and Objects. It's one of 4 airplanes on the National Register in the U.S., and so it has national significance, and we're concerned that something this valuable with its extensive Alaskan background would go to an outside museum.